Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about gardening on a budget and how it doesn't cost much money at all to put out a garden, especially when you're growing by seed. And there are plants at the end of the season you can buy at the nurseries that will save you money also. So you need to buy them when they're marked down and try not to pay full price if you buy plants. And we'll be discussing more about that and bulbs. Bulbs save you a lot of money also. Like in the fall, believe it or not, I plant my spring flowers in the fall because I plant tulip bulbs, daffodil bulbs, hyacinth bulbs. Every year I add on to them. Most of them come back, but not all of them. So I want to enhance my spring garden. So even in the fall, we can think about the spring. It's a matter of planning ahead of time. And planning ahead of time is very important when you're doing budget gardening. So what you do is you write out a plan and have all your notes together. You can design your garden, plan out your garden beds. That's one thing that I have tried in the past to do, and it did work. I'm not the best artist, but it does work, and it gives you motivation. So this is what has inspired me over the years, and I'll show you the garden that I put out 6 years ago, and it started from nothing. Just, you wouldn't believe it. A bunch of grass and weeds and mud, and it just took a little diligence and perseverance and going to the garden store, but buying those seeds and trying to get the soil and the mulch on sale when it's marked down. Let me show you what inspired me to grow to begin with. Now maybe you have a chain link fence like this, and it's pretty boring as far as I'm concerned. Could be rusted like this one is, and not real exciting, not like white picket fences, which are ideal for cottage gardening, for example. And I wasn't too happy with it. And I wanted to spruce it up for the spring and give it some life. It already had some natural plants growing, such as this wild milkweed. So I kept that for the bees and butterflies. Then I removed undesirable weeds at the bottom of the fence line. I was able to create a ground cover that softens the look, providing a dense mat that suppresses the weeds. So this is called stone crop, sedum stone crop. It's a nice ground cover. Ground covers save you a lot of money if you want areas that you want to, where you want a lot of plants and you don't want grass to grow or weeds to grow. You might still have a few weeds here and there, but then you might have little flowers. This is actually a wild flower pop up, and out of the blue, a wild strawberry. But now that this ground cover is here, I hardly ever see dandelions or crabgrass. Ground cover is really, really pretty, and it flowered, had yellow flowers that came up in the spring, in mid-spring, that were gorgeous. This ground cover didn't cost anything. I brought this over several years ago from a property where I had lived since 1990. And then along the fence line, it was like that fence I just showed you, that chain link fence. It was pretty much bare like this. And so right away I knew what to do. I bought one pack of seeds, morning glory seeds, and they just took off along the fence line. When they bloom in mid to late summer, you wake up in the morning, have a cup of coffee, and I like to sit at my patio and just bask in the beautiful beauty of the morning glory. And the bees just love it. We do have a pink one out of the blue. Every once in a while you'll see a different color here and there. So this is totally on a budget. One pack of seeds. Without this, you would see nothing but a chain link rusted fence. Very ugly, not very attractive. The natural look is a way to save money if you like the natural look. You kind of let things take off and let them do what they want to do. I used to keep these trimmed. Last year I kept them trimmed every 3 days, these vines. Now I'm letting them go. My husband loves this look, yeah. And I'm fine with it too. It kind of reminds us of something we would see out in the country. We want to put a country atmosphere here. Another way to save money is to if something reseeds, let it go. And like these cherry tomatoes, for example, these are volunteers from 3 years ago when I had a cherry tomato plant in a pot. And look how they took off. Yeah, and every year we get cherry tomatoes to put in our salads. These 4 o'clocks have been here ever since Danny moved in 1999. And so they were probably here before that. Who knows how many years they've been here? Could be 40 years, 30 or 40 years. Every year we look forward to these in the midsummer, and they come out usually in the afternoon, but I see today they are bloomed in the morning. They don't always bloom in the morning. The weather's been doing some weird things, so who knows? But we love these 4 o'clocks. 4 o'clocks propagate. It's a perennial and it reseeds. So if you like a lot of flowers, you like the natural look, 4 o'clocks are very ideal. Okay. I just want to give you an overall look of a garden that wasn't here 6 years ago, and now it is the main focus of this yard during the spring, summer, and fall. It's what people notice when they come over here more than anything. And so many of these flowers are coming back every year. They're reseeding because I buy seed. I very rarely buy perennials, so that they have to reseed if they want to come back. But I do enjoy perennials, and in particular, one that's a good investment. I would say even if you pay full price, but try not to pay full price if you can get it marked down. Lavender. Wonderful for the pollinators. And this is ideal to put beside squash plants, zucchini, and pumpkins. The bees are attracted by the lavender, and then they pollinate the blossoms on the squash plants, and it is very productive that way. So you can yield more fruit to store in your pantry and refrigerator. I just saw one. Yep. They're usually on the lavender this early in the morning, but they're over here and hanging out on this summer squash plants. Even with budget gardening, you can have the occasional splurge, like this rhubarb plant. I couldn't resist it because I know what I can make from it. Strawberry rhubarb crisp is absolutely delicious. Now let's look at a plant that is economical to grow. And it's very healthy, super healthy, and a beautiful plant. I cannot resist this plant. I planted it 3 months ago from 1 pack of seeds. And we still have seeds left to grow a fall crop. Lettuce is definitely the easiest vegetable to grow by seed. And sometimes I'll just leave the lettuces that reach their prime, let's say, and they flowered off, and they're too bitter for most people to eat. But you can always make pesto with this lettuce. I think it's beautiful. I think it's natural looking. I think it's beautiful. I would not be ashamed to leave this and let it seed. And you may get reseeders for next year. I've had Swiss chard come up the next year, in fact, by letting it go to seed. I hope I've expressed to you my love of gardening. To me, it is more than an art. It is a way of life. And it is so natural. And I just feel like I'm at one with nature when I'm out here among the flowers, the herbs, the vegetables, and the insects. Even if you live in the city, you can grow something or enjoy something that's already growing in your yard, like a tree, for example, that's been in your yard for decades. And you can appreciate that because it attracts birds and squirrels, wildlife. And plants attract insects and even beautiful hummingbirds. And I've seen many hummingbirds here in this yard, and that we never saw before we started gardening. We never once saw a hummingbird, and we saw very few butterflies, but now they come and visit us. So to me, gardening goes beyond the scope of beyond the scope of everyday life, beyond the scope of the stress of work or whatever you might be doing. It is a way to relax and enjoy and just make the most of your life. I would love to strive for slow living. So many of you are able to do that. Even in the city, if you have a plot of land and you have a nice garden or a beautiful patio setting, you can make it more relaxing. And sometimes you got to drown out the noise in the background and listen to the birds. because that's why we're on this planet. We're on this planet to appreciate the glory of nature, the glory of creation and nature. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I hope I've inspired you. If you want any ideas about gardening on a budget, just keep checking back and I'll be sharing that with you. If you have any questions, let me know. May God bless you all. I'll see you on the next one.